But finally our players are
Wait,
done.
10 meters?
Like how you just caught onto that. We're diving in, boy.
We are diving straight on into our Hong Kong Derby. We're over here in the bottom right-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the bottom right-hand corner. We have the red Zug player. I like this a lot, Light, because I'm not getting tripped up with the color of his flag next to him with the logo smile. That's amazing. He is coming out from the land of Hong Kong, representing himself as the best player from Hong Kong, the Grand Platypus himself, champion of last week's Grand Platypus Open. He is GogojOey.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Lightshade LE, we have the Hong Kong Protoss player, the Kong from Hong Kong, just took down the Aussie Zerg. Now he's up against his comrade. It is Bistork.
Es el compadre.
Ah, es enamorada.
Es amigo.
Ah, la biblioteca.
Ah, la araña discoteca.
Beautiful, beautiful. We need to bring back the Spanish intros, man. You're like, I have exhausted all the Spanish I know.
Cerveza es bueno.
Oh my god. So, did Neo teach you that? Did he?
He did that night where he got wasted and didn't remember what time it was.
Shaking my head. Neo.
But then he looked at the time in Singapore and then calculated 12 hours backwards. I was like, ah, okay.
He did the math. He
did. Easy way to remember.
And so as we get into this, as we're doing some math, as we're talking about, drinking and all that good stuff, I feel like Bistork, he's sobered up. Because...
Well, you say that, but I would like to direct everybody back to the SEA-OCE game.
Well, that's what I mean. I was about to say that Bistork, when he's at his craziest, is anyone but GogojOey. Because...
Yes, I agree.
We end up in these weird mind games where, they play against each other so much that Bistork, he needs to do something. He can't be himself. He has to be someone else,
Something else. But yeah, I agree. GogojOey is probably the one player who is just generally unfazed by the madness that comes from mostly Bistork, but also Miyomika to an extent. It's very rare that Miyomika ever beats GogojOey on a mind game. It's usually just for out microing or out controlling in one particular engagement and going from there, or just having a better macro.
You know what it is? I'm bringing it back. It's because they're on the y-axis, like all of them. They're all and when the axis, when they meet, they straighten out, right?
I think that's how it works, yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't allowed to do that part of math. But does the axis apply to Zerg? Because as far as I remember, that was mostly a Protoss thing.
It's true. He is a Zerg player. And he had his own axis as well. I feel like we need to make a graphic. We need to need to lay it all out here. As GogojOey is diving in with Overlord speed, and he sees everything. He scouts the Dark Shrine.
He is just completely styling on top of the Stalker right now, zooping around, doing a bit of a flip over there.
Yeah.
He knows he can get away with this all, and there is nothing that GogojOey doesn't see. Lair has already finished up, if I'm not mistaken. No, it doesn't have a Lair quite yet, but we should be seeing some Spore Crawlers get thrown down.
Exactly. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes in for a secondary scout to make sure that the Dark Shrine wasn't cancelled, because that could be something that Bistork does. But yeah, GogojOey, he saw everything. He did a little bit of a burnout in the main base with his Overlord, just because why not? And there's that Lair, and there are those spores that you were talking about.
Yep. DTs should not be able to find too much damage, but It's a little bit of a consolation for Bistork. Archons. There's not a lot that GogojOey has that can deal with Archons right now.
Yeah. Archons can still be very annoying, and they can get a lot of value here. As the Warp Prism finally comes across the map, we have a couple of Adepts. Ooh, Link Speed is done, though. These Adepts, they shouldn't do much here. Does he? Oh, he commits! Uh-oh.
Okay, I mean, it does get a little bit of a scout there, and a couple of drones, but yeah, immediately getting surrounded like that will completely shut down the Adept harass. Does mean there's nothing to distract GogojOey from dealing with the DTs.
Exactly. Unfortunately, Bistork was the one that was distracted. You know, he let the Adept Shade finish so he can warp in the DTs, and now he's going to be forced to morph them into those Archons. Lair is done, by the way, which means we will be seeing an Overseer. The Lynx even go for a counterattack, and oh my god, they do deny the third base.
Deny a third base, kill the pylon, apply a lot of pressure over here back home. Force some energy out of that sentry. That's even less scouting that Bistork will be able to utilize later on.
Very true. And we still don't know what the follow-up is here for GogojOey. So far, he's just on roaches, and honestly, that's all he needs. These things still being so annoying. Bistork, he just can't expand.
No, he cannot. It's even tougher for him now as he's force-fielding himself off. Look at how annoying that is! Where is the anti-air here for Bistork? There's none. GogojOey has zero respect right now.
It's like, what are you going to do? Send the sentry out to shoot up? It's almost dead, mate. The Archons are across the map, but you're going to force them to go all the way back home. Like, GogojOey is just having his way with Bistork, and Bistork is really struggling to transition here.
You get Stalkers. You're not gonna get Stalkers. You're getting Charge. You're researching Charge on that. Look at how long it took one Stalker to kill that Weekend Overlord too.
Yeah, you know what? The Roaches, they're coming. They're waiting for that Nexus to be thrown down, and then they can go for the kill, or they can just go for the probe. Regardless, again, GogojOey just containing his opponent to 2 bases.
Last thing you want as the Protoss player warps across the map. These Immortals can do a lot against the Roaches, but not if they got caught out in the middle of the map. So important to utilize this Warp Prism for micro.
Exactly. Meanwhile, finally, Bistork pushes away GogojOey for now. But GogojOey, mate, he's done droning up. He's at 55 drones, and he doesn't want any more. Right now, he's making nothing but roaches.
Yeah, I would be very surprised if GogojOey decides to go for a 4th base from this point on. So it's on the way, just again continuing to contain GogojOey as best as possible. Bistork trying to go for a 4th base, but yeah, another Olo's gonna put a stop to that. The splash damage on the Archons actually softening up these roaches quite a bit. These Immortals are there to clean up, but GogojOey just will not stop producing. Bit of a flank coming in, but enough beefy units for Bistork have left to chase this away.
Oh, yeah, exactly. It took a long time to deal with the Archons. The Archons finally did fall, but yeah, as you were saying, like, a lot of roaches went down. Oh, God, but now GogojOey, he turns around.
Yeah, almost able to clear up a little bit of that army, but not quite yet. These Immortals, supported by that Warp Prism, is actually the real MVP right now for Bistork.
Yeah, look how low they are.
Yeah, they'll live up to the name.
We have more Archons being morphed in. You know, we have that iconic beef wave coming out from Bistork. Finally, 3rd base is thrown down. GogojOey was a little bit late with his Overlord, but he still has so many roaches. That's the problem, mate. He's got so many.
He does. +1 range finished up a little while ago as well. So GogojOey's gonna have a pretty good time fighting against this paltry force with 0 upgrades. He doesn't want to overextend though. I feel like he should regroup with the rest of his army first. Yeah,
exactly. You know, he's just taking a moment here to recalibrate, to find an angle. The problem is that this time, where are all those Zealots, you know, that we had earlier to buffer for the Archons? Now the Archons are being focused down.
Kind of doing the reverse of being a buffer right now. These Zealots are being more of a target. Bistork trying to surround GogojOey's army, but there's so many roaches that it's almost like GogojOey surrounding the surround.
Yeah, pretty much. The surround comes in on the surround, and all the Archons are falling. Finally, one of the Immortals falls as well. The Warp Prism micro is pretty good, but again, like, how good can it really be when you're losing the rest of your army?
Yeah, the micro is pretty good, but I mean, that Warp Prism is being forced at just one angle. Only 2 Immortals and Archons can be in it at a time. It's inevitable that Bistork will take some casualties, but he didn't want to lose this many Archons, nor Immortals.
Yeah. What I will say is that, like, honestly, though, his defense has been good enough where GogojOey is forced to expand. Like, and he didn't take any economic damage. He only lost army.
Yeah, very high-tech, expensive army, but only army nonetheless. He is still mining to replace that. We'll see if that ends, as GogojOey just really wants to end the game.
He really does. He's like, man, you have lived for far too long. You don't deserve to be alive right now. He's going to try and end it, but we have another warp in. And again, Bistork, he just barely holds on.
Barely each and every time. But important to point out that Bistork isn't able to get a 4th base just yet. He's losing very expensive units. After every engagement, no matter how inefficient it is for GogojOey, it hurts him a lot less than it hurts Bistork.
Oh yeah. He was like bashing his head against the wall, and the wall is crumbling. Is the thing like GogojOey, he's doing it slowly. He's like grinding away at that wall, and the wall is giving way. We do have again a couple more Archons, but they're starting to fall. Where are the Zealots that we had earlier to help buffer?
Non-existent at the moment. It looks like Bistork wants to actually switch it to a couple more Stalkers. Finishing up Blink a little while ago. Reinforcements are coming in for GogojOey. He's on +2 range. And 0 armor upgrades for Bistork.
GogojOey's gonna be so frustrated right now. He's like, how are you alive? I mean, look, we have shield batteries, we have overcharge. Like, every single time, just barely Bistork warps it enough.
It's like a B action movie. GogojOey's like, why don't you just die? Bistork's the hero. It's like, I don't do dying.
Dying isn't in my vocabulary. It's like, what? Yo, Zealot, run by, mate.
Actually causing a lot of havoc right now, killing a couple of queens. Not quite getting too many drones, but it does force every single roach back here for GogojOey. This gives Bistork a lot of breathing room, actually.
Yeah, finally, you know, GogojOey is forced to back off. Bistork still hasn't dealt with the Overlords.
And a lot of anti, to be fair.
This is very true. It's very true. But again, he has some time to recuperate his army, tech up. He throws down a robotic spade. He is sustaining some losses here to a couple of Urchas, which is a bit of a feels bad, man. And in comes wave number, what is this, like 7, 8?
A bajillion, somewhere along those lines.
69. Let's go.
Yeah. I have to count each individual roach as a wave. So we're just looking at how many we lost. 116, 117. Yeah, what about wave 120?
Pretty much. And now GogojOey has the high ground. Ooh, the Cybercore could get taken out as well, which means no more Stalkers can be warped in. And yeah, Bistork is having a really hard time pushing up this ramp.
Even biles down the Observer. God damn.
Oh my god.
Not the most important thing in the world right now. Not the most important target for GogojOey, but god damn, that's impressive.
Very impressive indeed. And finally he forces his way up the ramp, but oh my god, the Immortals are going down. What's missing here? The Warp Prism is across the map. He can't use it to keep these Immortals alive.
Yeah, there's no micro potential here for the Immortals, and the Warp Prism slowly making its way back home. I don't think there's enough energy for a recall.
This could have been the critical area here for Bistork. Finally, it looks like he will fall here as every single Immortal goes down. None remaining. Finally, GogojOey has been able to break the Stork.
GG is called. GogojOey takes game number 1. Not all action movies can end same way. I'm happy ending.
Look, every series needs its Empire Strikes Back, okay?
It does.
There we go. Oh god, and as we get out of this game again, GG, Joey finally prevails, and massive shout out to Mike the Amazing in the chat.
Ooh.
Or that subscription.
You're amazing, Mike, for subbing 1 month in a row.
God damn. And thank you so much, Mike the Amazing, for going one step further and gifting a sub as well.
Hey! You're amazing, Mike.
What is wrong with you?
And I hope that Master Bomb really enjoys that sub too. Enjoy the emotes, they are pretty good.
Yes, enjoy the emotes. You know, we've got our duckling, we've got our fanfare, which is this. We've got our platypus, knowing, we've got our duct tape. Yeah, I hope you enjoy the emotes. Yeah. Taping. It's true. It's true.
And of course, yes, yeah. That's all we can ask. And of course, we have our own duck coming in here, our mascot, if you will.
True.
Not Starduck.
Not stuff. We're not a star. We're not a star. Even Revenant shows up, you know, like even he's awake, I should say. Shaking my head.
Yeah. It's a strange day where you're going easy on Revenant, but that just shows how mad you are at Starduck, I guess. But regardless, we are going to be continuing our series here on 2,000 Atmospheres. LE, as I cut my life into pieces, question mark. I feel like that's fitting for something or another for duct tape. There we go. In the bottom left-hand corner map, starting all the way in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the red player coming out from the land of Hong Kong. He's the best player coming out from Hong Kong, representing himself. He is GogojOey.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of 2,000 Atmospheres LE, we have the Hong Kong Protoss player himself, the Kong from Hong Kong. Currently down in this series, but my god, in game one, this man just would not die. It is Bistork.
Yeah, maybe we've been thinking about it all wrong, and we've been thinking that Bistork is a beef or a stork. Maybe he's El Cucaracha.
maybe storks are cucarachas in Hong Kong. We don't know.
Only in Hong Kong? I like to imagine all storks are a bunch of cockroaches in a suit! Maybe. That's a forge! Gateway Forge on the way.
There we go. As Starduck would put it, it is the macro cannon rush opening, where you go gate first, which means, you aren't as committed and you can transition a little bit easier.
Yeah, you're still going to be able to deny or delay at least one base from your Zerg opponent, but it will not leave you too far behind. You won't be trailing behind when it comes to the tech. And instead, it's going to be the opposite, actually, as we see here, GogojOey forced to cancel that base, getting a natural base much later.
Yeah, and Bistork is here being even more annoying, delaying that third base at the other location. Ay.
Even gets a pylon block. Look at this guy. Man, all Protoss should aspire to. Or maybe not. I'll probably. That's probably a bad idea, actually. Do you want to be the second Hong Kong? Then sure.
Whoa! Yaku, calm down, buddy. Yaku with the shade. Oh my god.
Look, you got a shade with me.
Look, I'm happy to throw shade at Starduck, right? That's where the line ends for me. But what I will say is that, so far the opening is pretty good here for Bistork, right? Forced to cancel. Unfortunately for Bistork, GogojOey saw the pylon thrown down, so he didn't let it finish. Like, Bistork didn't get a kill on the base or anything like that. But regardless, he got some value from it.
Yeah, all in all, still net positive coming up from Bistork. Delaying the Zerg player, especially GogojOey, who just wants to get in a stable economy as quickly as possible, and then do nothing but make army, is going to go a long way in letting you yourself establish an economy, get your opponent off your back.
Exactly. Bistork is the one dictating the pace of the game with this opener, and GogojOey is the one who is now lagging a little bit behind, especially when it comes to his economy, his production, everything. As Bistork so far is opening up with this Void Ray, and mate, I just realized we're on 2,000 Atmospheres. There's a lot of potential here for Bistork, especially based off of what he did last series.
There is. I have to imagine if... I have to wonder if GogojOey was watching that particular series, because if he was, probably scratch his head a little bit, but it might be on the back of his mind. We have seen Tempest builds on 2000 Atmospheres in the past. They never worked, except maybe one time in one series for one player.
Yeah, the success rate was never very good on it. But we'll see how that goes. Meanwhile, ooh, the Oracle will go down without killing too many workers at all. Oh, nice snipe here on the Queen, but the Void Ray is going to take a lot of damage. And something that I wanted to point out is that GogojOey went for a very fast lair.
That he did. Getting his gases now light. Not all of them.
Not all of them, as you said, but he doesn't have a Roach Warren, and that's really what I wanted to hammer home, right? He doesn't have any tech. He was waiting for the lair. Does he want to go into a Spire or a Hydrogen, as he actually still does throw down a Roach Warren?
Yeah, but we'll see if that's just a safety Roach Warren, or if he does decide to go for a different form of tech. I cannot believe that Void Ray is still alive. I spoke too soon!
Oh.
He thought he was safe by the cannon! But Joey doesn't fear cannons!
The Queen run by shuts down the Void Ray, and there it is. We were wondering what the tech was going to be, what the lair tech was going to be, and it is a Spire.
Huh. Alright, interesting choice to deal with the Void Race here. We have seen it quite a number of times, actually, going for early Mutalisk and getting a massive cloud with them very, very early on, catching your opponent off guard. Is something that will completely shut down a Void Ray Protoss player, but it's a bit of a double-edged sword. As long as Bistork's able to scout this, he can get Phoenixes out. Snap of a finger.
Yeah, he can, especially with all these Stargates up and running, right? So that's a little bit worrisome. Meanwhile, GogojOey dips in, he confirms that the Stargates, confirms the Mass Void Ray. GogojOey has all the information he needs. What is his plan here? Because he's not stopping Queen production, which makes sense, but he's also getting +1 range. Like, he could be working on some kind of combined Queen Corruptor push.
Not something you see every day, but you know what I really want to see? And I feel like out of all of the units for Zerg, at least all of the tier 2 units, Corruptors do benefit from Transfuse the best, or it's the most efficient, something like that. But it is in fact going to be Mutalisk, which, again, should be able to catch Bistork off guard. Whether or not GogojOey goes for a mineral line or for the Void Race themselves, to be determined.
Yeah, we'll see if Bistork can piece some things together, because meanwhile, the Void Rays are forced to fight the Queens. Transfuses are on point. Bistork doesn't lose anything. But what's important is that he has seen nothing but Queens. He hasn't seen any Roaches yet. He has to be thinking, where is that gas being spent? He hasn't seen the Spire, but he has to feel that something is amiss.
I thought for sure he was going to keep going and see the Mutas, but yeah, it is a little bit unfortunate for Bistork. He got so close, but GogojOey's just looking to wreck a mineral line.
Oh, and there's nothing at the natural. I was about to praise Bistork because he does have shield batteries at the 3rd base, but there's nothing here.
Not at all. Trying to evacuate the probes right now. GogojOey not getting too greedy, actually. You gotta admire that. He gets the probes, he dips away. He actually hasn't made that many Mutalisks. I say that as 5 more just about finish up here. Never mind. I was gonna be like, all right, he hasn't made that many Mutalisks. He just wanted to get a bit of a harass for us. It's good, but yeah, no, he's still committing.
Yeah, he is. He's not stopping Queen production either. Yo, the Queens. The highway is on the way. We thought it was going. I thought it was going to be Corruptor Queen. It's actually Muta Queen, which we'll see how this goes. What I will say is that Bistork hasn't started Phoenix production. He's committed to the Void Rays.
Well, Void Rays in high numbers will decimate Mutalisks in low numbers, because despite being light units and very maneuverable, do have a pretty low health pool. But it's kind of hard to deal with when your opponent makes a ton more and commits to them. I'm liking this a lot, actually, from GogojOey. He's going to lose all of his Queens here, but he distracts every single bit of anti-air that Bistork has. He is completely decimating the economy of his Protoss opponent.
Yeah, and now we may end up in the base trade, right? Bistork, as you said, he killed every single Queen. Flux Veins just finished up as well, so he does have Void Ray speed. He's going to try and chase down these Mutas, and I imagine go for a counterattack.
I'm kind of surprised GogojOey decided to commit to taking out that Nexus instead of flying around to go for the probes, but you know, it's still value at the end of the day.
It is. And now it's on Bistork, right? Like, what are you going to do here? He lost the base. He lost every single probe at said base. Is he really going to just stay at home and macro up? Like, I would have assumed that GogojOey is in a vulnerable position after losing all those queens, but Bistork doesn't pull the trigger.
Oh, I mean, he's in a very vulnerable position, but at the same time, I guess, if you're Bistork right now, you're thinking, well, I only have Void Race. Well, actually, no, I can't believe I said that. I can't believe, and I can't believe I thought that any Protoss player would even think that. Never mind. But yeah, no, I was thinking like, maybe he thought he wouldn't be able to win the base trade since GogojOey does have a pretty big flock of mutas. He can always sneak around, but then I was like, wait a minute, he's got Flux Vein, Void Race, and Recall available. He really should be scared, but yeah, now he's starting to lose him a lot as GogojOey remakes the queen count and gets a ton more mutas out.
Yeah, exactly. You know, as you were predicting there, we did see that recall in the end, but Bistork, he lost a lot of Void Rays there. Again, it's very stubborn of Bistork to finally start making Phoenixes. Like, he after that fight, he's like, I guess Void Rays aren't very good against Phoenixes. or against mutas. I should probably make some Phoenixes. It goes to show how stubborn Bistork can be sometimes. It took him losing a fight to finally make the Phoenixes.
Well, sometimes you gotta learn the hard way, but
this is a very hard way,
just
mate.
the hard way.
Yeah. Because you know what? Now GogojOey here snowballed. We have 32 mutas on the map, and 4 Phoenixes are going to do nothing, mate.
Yeah, 30 plus mutas. Say it with me, chat. That is a full-on apocalypse of mutas coming out.
Exactly.
As GogojOey demonstrates.
Yeah, that apocalypse, it hit the 3rd base. Every single worker went down. The Phoenixes are going down. Annual Pulse Crystals is not done. And GG gets called.
A very close game number 1, but my god, game number 2, when Bistork didn't go for the Tempest, GogojOey made that look one-sided as ever.
Yeah, that was a lot more controlled there by GogojOey. Again, a lot of it did come down to, I was about to say, 1, the Spire not being scouted, but to be fair, even when the mutas were revealed, Bistork, it didn't feel like he took them too seriously. It felt like he was very overconfident in the ability of his Void Rays.
To be honest, I too thought there was a bit of a chance there, just looking at the muta count, which was actually a little bit deceptive. It looked like GogojOey only had a handful of mutas. You actually go to unit sap, he had like 20, 25, something like that. And I was like, okay, you know, Bistork has a healthy count of Void Rays. If he's able to deal with these mutalisks quickly, then what can the rest of the army really do? That's not the case. It was not the case at all.